So yesterday I fell down a rabbit hole of people online freaking out about the multicultural cast of the new Lord of the Rings series. Well, when J.R.R. Tolkien created these elves and dwarves, they weren't all multicultural. They're supposed to be white. It's a fantasy series about elves and dwarves and wizards. Well, you just don't understand. They're forcing multiculturalism down our throats. Things need to stay true to the original. True to the original, huh? Okay, if this is you and forced multiculturalism is really the case like you say it is, then why aren't you this upset about, say, Jesus, a darker-skinned Middle Eastern man being depicted as white in nearly every representation in the Western world? Yeah, I said it. Go ahead, unfollow me. But I mean, come on, if you're gonna get this upset that dwarves and elves in a fantasy story aren't white, where's your offense about Jesus all of a sudden having a white complexion when there's absolutely ain't no way he was white? And this provides a great teaching moment. When and why did the Western world start envisioning Jesus as a tall, attractive, long-haired, blue-eyed white dude? The Gospels never describe Jesus' appearance, and prophetic descriptions of him, like in Isaiah 53, say he wasn't much to look at, and Revelation says he has woolly hair. We also know that the style of hair around that time was short, with unshorn beards, unless you took a Nazirite vow, which we know Jesus didn't. And there are moments where Jesus disappears into Jewish crowds as an adult in the rural Middle East. So he didn't stick out. We also know through DNA analysis that first century Judean Jews, they more resemble current day Iraqi Jews. Dark, brown, black hair, eyes, olive brown skin. You know, Middle Eastern, not white. So what happened? Well, as belief in Jesus spread throughout the Roman Empire for the first 300 years, believing in a savior from an oppressed minority group from the frontier of the Roman Empire, that's kind of a tough sell. So the earliest images of Jesus in the Gentile world weren't concerned with accuracy, as they were about depicting Jesus as a divine ruler. So Jesus was depicted as a beardless youth wearing a toga based on more accepted pagan iconography like Dionysus, Orpheus, Hermes, and Apollo, because that's what they understood divine figures to look like. By the 5th century, Christianity was the Roman state religion, so artists depicted Jesus like them, European features, lighter skin, to deepen their own personal connection. And as Rome's influence expanded, so did Roman Jesus. And during the Middle Ages, a letter before 35 AD from a very fictional Roman governor named Publius Lentulus circulated widely throughout Europe, describing Jesus as tall, light-haired, white complexion with rosy cheeks with blue eyes, shoring up the European idea of Jesus. And the whitewashing of Jesus continued in Europe. Almost every famous painter depicted Jesus as white, Michelangelo, Da Vinci. Look, when the church is paying the bills, they're not interested in making connections to a Middle Eastern Jew, especially with all the raging anti-Semitism going on. So greater distance was put between representations of Jesus and his historic roots. As Europeans colonized the world, they brought their version of Jesus with them, and well, colonizers placing a god that looked like them over the people that they were subjugating kind of comes in handy. And you think it's not happening today? The most famous painting of Jesus was made in 1940 for an evangelical seminary by a guy named Walter Salmon. Printed more than 1 billion times, hangs in hundreds of millions of homes and churches, and in the 20th century was seen by more people than any other painting. And in that painting, Jesus is about as white as it gets. Pick up almost any children's illustrated Bible. Look at the illustrations. White, 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 white. But I thought we should stay true to the original, right? Right. All I'm saying is, you're getting this up in arms about fictional characters being depicted as an ethnicity they were never intended to be. Then where's your ire about Jesus, who probably looked more like this than that? Oh, Ken, you know, it doesn't matter what Jesus looks like. And I'm cool with that. But if we're gonna say that, then maybe we should shove the whole offense at characters in a fictional series being depicted as something other than white back into that cesspool pit where it belongs. I'm just saying, maybe the real issue is that it's not about forced multiculturalism at all, but maybe it's just good old-fashioned racism. And kind of maybe, perhaps, this is why God said we shouldn't make any images or bow down to idols made at him, because he knows our hearts and minds and how much we want our God to look like us instead of us moving from glory to glory to glory, filled with the love of God and love of our neighbor, and become like him. Click on the pinned videos for more.